courage to follow your heart, courage to do things your way, courage to trust yourself and your baby, courage to trust that you've got this, mama, because you do. Welcome to Mothering from Within, the podcast where we dive into the heart of parenting during those magical yet challenging first few years. I'm Kaili, a mama of two, a pediatric occupational therapist, and your guide on this beautiful journey of motherhood. Every week, we explore the wonders and hurdles of motherhood with curiosity, we gain clarity around our babies, and find the courage to trust our instincts. If you are a mama who wants to do motherhood your way, confidently, courageously, authentically, then you are in the right place. So grab a cup of tea, tuck those little ones in for a nap, or bring them along for the ride. It's time to get curious, gain clarity, and unleash your courage to do motherhood your way. A gentle disclaimer, please do not consider anything discussed on this podcast by myself or any guest of the podcast to be medical advice. The information is provided for educational purposes only and does not take the place of your own medical or healthcare provider. In today's episode, I'm excited to talk about 7 core concepts that I like to call the building blocks or foundation of doing motherhood your way. You can think of them as the 7 C's of motherhood. These building blocks are ultimately what help you move from the state of overwhelm and confusion to feeling confident as though you've got this whole motherhood thing. They're the pillars that can hold us up even on those days when we feel like everything else is just too much. As we dive in, I want you to imagine these concepts as tools in your mothering toolkit. And keep them in the back of your mind as you come back to the Mothering from Within podcast each week. These concepts help you navigate this wild ride called motherhood with a bit more ease and a lot more joy. The first C is courage. Courage is about finding your voice and saying no. It's about being open to learning and growing. It's about stepping into the unknown, making mistakes, and moving forward. To be courageous is to listen to and be present with your child or even family members who might not agree with your way of doing things. Courage is choosing love and being kind and respectful to your baby, to your family, and most of all, to yourself. Courage is accepting your imperfections and leaning into them while showing yourself compassion and understanding. It takes courage to do motherhood your way, especially if it's different from the norm or what others in your life are recommending or advising. Next is comfort. Providing comfort through loving intention, gentle touch, and responding to our children's needs isn't creating bad habits or somehow spoiling them, as our society can lead us to believe. In fact, it's doing the opposite. Providing comfort is often the very thing that your instinct is leading you to do, that you do automatically without thinking. It's what helps our babies and children know that they're loved and that they can always count on us to support them. It's what helps them grow into confident, independent, and resilient individuals. The third C is connection. Life boils down to connection, which is love. Connection is the thing that our children seek the most, and that doesn't stop once they reach adulthood. We all need connection. Connection is often the antidote to the very things we want to protect our children from: anger, fear, loneliness, and yes, even all those quote-unquote behaviors and peer pressure. It's important to prioritize connection in every aspect of our lives, but especially when it comes to the youngest, most vulnerable people in them. True connection requires us to tune into the other person, their feelings, their desires, their needs. By focusing on connecting with your child, you'll start to become tuned into their smiles when they're working on a big poop, for example, their cries, and their signals for when they're tired and overwhelmed. Focusing on connection will also help you bond, developing, maintaining a secure attachment with your baby, which is essentially what we all want. The fourth C is clarity. Gaining clarity is about bringing more awareness to whatever is causing you confusion or overwhelm. This could involve researching what is biologically normal or typical for babies in their development and sleep, or perhaps learning about why breastfeeding can feel so hard, or maybe realizing that there's always a reason for your baby's reflux. Perhaps it involves learning about new concepts such as sensory processing that finally help to explain your baby's unique temperament. Each new phase of babyhood brings with it a whole host of new questions and worries. Of course it does. It's something new to both you and baby, and it takes time to figure it all out. Whatever it is, gaining clarity is much less stressful when you're learning from a trusted source rather than information found during a random Google search at 3 o'clock in the morning when your baby is up for the 10th time. Yep, I've been there, trust me. You do not want to go down that rabbit hole. In the whirlwind of motherhood, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by conflicting advice and societal pressure. But deep down, you know what's best for your baby. I have a free hypnosis meditation that will help you reconnect with that inner wisdom and trust yourself to navigate motherhood with ease. You can download this from the show notes. Number 5 is consistency. Consistency is key. I honed in on this way back in my early occupational therapy days when I was treating children and giving parents home programs. The only way you will see any progress is through consistency. This concept is such an important one for growth and development, milestones, but also for getting more sleep, making changes, and building new habits. When we're consistent with something, it becomes familiar and predictable, and our primitive brain then views it as quote-unquote safe. Consistency allows our babies and children to know what to expect. The brain views new things as unsafe or scary, thereby triggering our fight or flight alarm system to keep us safe and to help us survive. So again, consistency is key, okay? Note that this does not mean consistently leaving your baby to cry in an effort to teach them to self-soothe or fall asleep independently. Being in a consistent state of distress can lead to chronic stress and a whole host of other problems later in life. The next C is compassion. In early motherhood, it's easy to lose sight of our own needs amidst the demands of caring for our little ones. Yet it's precisely during these moments of chaos and uncertainty that practicing self-compassion becomes so important. As mamas, we often hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, expecting perfection in every aspect of our parenting journey. But what if, instead of striving for perfection, we chose to embrace compassion? Compassion for ourselves as imperfect beings navigating this beautiful messiness and chaos of motherhood. Compassion is about giving ourselves the same kindness, understanding, and patience that we offer to our children. It's about acknowledging that we're doing the best we can with the tools and resources we have, and that's more than enough. So give yourself the grace to stumble, to learn, and to grow. Nurture your child, but also yourself. And finally, we have confidence. We all want more confidence. Confidence is what allows us to hold our heads high and live our lives without second guessing ourselves. Confidence is essentially trusting yourself, and this is so important for motherhood. For some, confidence comes quite easily, but for many of us, it takes time to build. I've found that building confidence requires the right mindset, so deciding to trust yourself and your baby, repetition and practice, aka consistency, and being willing to be perfectly imperfect. Yep, you'll make mistakes because we all do. It's part of the human experience. I also know that if you focus on the first 5 building blocks, courage, comfort, connection, clarity, and consistency, you'll be building and strengthening your confidence and ability to trust in yourself and your mama instincts throughout your motherhood journey and beyond. I've been on a journey to believing and trusting in myself, my knowledge, my skills, and even my motherhood journey for a while now. I have come to understand and accept that confidence comes with time. And the first step is courage. courage to follow your heart, courage to do things your way, courage to trust yourself and your baby, courage to trust that you've got this, mama, because you do. My hope is that by focusing on these 7 building blocks, or 7 C's of motherhood, you'll start to realize that in fact you do know what's best for your baby and your family, and that by following your heart, your mama instincts, you'll be able to take imperfect action day after day and finally feel like the supermom you are who can do this parenting thing. Keep these building blocks in your mind as you move through the week ahead. Whether you're navigating sleep schedules, meal times, or just finding moments for yourself, remember that each step you take is part of your journey to doing motherhood your way. Thanks for joining us today on Mothering from Within. If today's chat sparked something inside of you to explore your motherhood journey deeper, the Mothering from Within Collective is waiting with open arms. This program offers an intimate, high-touch coaching journey designed to empower you with the confidence and clarity to embrace motherhood on your terms, free from guilt. Get curious about your parenting values, gain clarity on your baby's sleep, development, and more, with comprehensive courses, one-to-one support, group Q&As, and a nurturing community. This is your invitation to join a community of mamas doing it all their own way, supported, seen, and held. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more about the collective and how we can walk this beautiful path together. Until next time, stay curious, embrace clarity, and let your courage shine.